Welcome back to the Buyer Steps to Purchasing, Step 8. In Step 7, we discussed the inspection resolution and agreed to move forward with the transaction. So what's next? Well, we're almost there and only a couple of steps away from the finish line to becoming new homeowners. The seller and the buyer have both agreed to the inspection resolution, and now it's time to take a closer look to ensure the items that the seller agreed to address were completed before going to the closing table. This is a step where your realtor schedules a walkthrough of your new home, and this step will often take place the morning of, if not the day before closing. I made an in-depth video called "Is a Walkthrough Mandatory?" So go check out that video for a deep dive into this step. At this point, depending on the receipt delivery date written in the inspection resolution, you may have received the receipts for the completed work, so you'll be doing a visual inspection for confirmation of the items that were agreed to. If everything is in order and the seller has satisfied the request, great. If not, throw on the brakes. We must figure out how to resolve any issues before moving forward with the closing. Either the work was in fact not completed or some new damage has occurred since you went under contract on the house. If you halt the closing until an agreeable resolution is made and in writing, there's specific language in the contract to buy and sell real estate that's clear about delivering the home in the proper condition. This can be a real pain and an inconvenience for all involved, but it's the right thing to do to be fair and obtain what was agreed upon in the contract. Everyone's probably ready to move into their next property, but just slow down and play this out until you're satisfied with the resolution. This is where your realtor and the seller's realtor come together to discuss the appropriate resolution for the buyer and the seller to agree upon and sign. And let me just say this is exactly why you want the professional representation of your own realtor. If you run into this type of issue as a buyer, you don't want to be in a situation where you simply called a number on a for sale sign and chose to work with the seller's listing agent. Why? Well, because they specifically work on behalf and advocate for their client. They are bound by the listing contract to uphold their fiduciary duties to their seller, not the buyer. You have no professional representation on your side, and that's a tough place to be. And as a seller, if you chose to try to sell your house yourself and you're working across the table from a professional realtor who is working with the buyer, this may be the point where the buyer is told they need legal counsel. No seller wants or plans for litigation against them, but so many missteps can be made when you don't know what you don't know. All right, let's assume the house was in order and everyone is happy. What's next? Let's go to the closing table and purchase your new home. In the next and final video, we'll talk about what to expect when you get there. If the Chambers Group can personally help you, there's a link in the description and pinned in the comments. We'd love to be of service.